Hello fans! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the electrifying twists and turns coming up on Monday, July 7, 2025, in the world of Port Charles. Prepare yourself for an emotional roller coaster as long-buried secrets come to light, fierce confrontations ignite, and dangerous power plays threaten to unravel the lives of our beloved characters. From family drama to mob rivalries, this episode promises to keep fans glued to their screens with unexpected revelations and heart-pounding suspense. Let's unpack the intricate web of stories, explore new details, and speculate on the potential fallout in this expanded preview of what's to come. Rocco Falconeri's shocking confrontation with Lulu Spencer. First up, the Falconeri household is about to be shaken to its core as young Rocco Falconeri demands answers from his mother, Lulu Spencer. The boy is still reeling from a staggering discovery about Britt Westbury, a piece of his family history that has been kept under wraps for far too long. Fueled by a mix of confusion and betrayal, Rocco, alongside his trusted friend Danny Morgan, sought clarity from Emma Scorpio Drake earlier in the week. However, Emma's vague responses only deepen the mystery, leaving Rocco with more questions than answers. Desperate for the truth, he returns home, his emotions raw, ready to face Lulu head-on. Picture the tension in the room as Rocco, with a trembling voice, asks his mother about the surrogacy story that has turned his world upside down. Lulu, caught completely off guard, might feel her heart sink as she realizes the secret she'd hoped would stay buried has come to light. Her shock could quickly morph into suspicion as she mentally sifts through who might have spilled the beans. Her thoughts may instinctively land on Brooklyn Quartermaine, someone known for digging up dirt. But here's the twist: while Brooklyn did uncover the intel during one of her investigative deep dives, her conscience won out. Knowing the pain it would inflict on an innocent child like Rocco, she opted to keep her lips sealed. This act of restraint shows a softer side to Brooklyn, but will Lulu believe it when the time comes to point fingers? Perhaps Lulu will struggle to balance her maternal instinct to protect Rocco with the need to address the painful truth. This confrontation could mark a turning point in their relationship, as trust is tested in ways neither saw coming. Anna Devane's dangerous encounter with Jen Sidwell. Meanwhile, across town, Anna Devane is stepping into the lion's den as she confronts the enigmatic and volatile Jen Sidwell. With her signature blend of grit and determination, Anna pays Sidwell a visit, hoping to extract critical information about his shadowy dealings. But this is no ordinary tidy to Sidwell. A man whose temper is as unpredictable as a storm seems to unravel under the weight of Anna's piercing questions. His patience wears thin, and in a fit of barely contained rage, he snaps at her with a chilling warning. Pointing a metaphorical finger at Sonny Corinthos, Sidwell growls that if Anna wants real answers, she'd better turn her attention to him. This cryptic outburst raises alarm bells. What does Sidwell know about Sonny that Anna doesn't? Could this be a calculated move to pit Anna against the mob boss, or is there a deeper, more sinister connection at play? As Anna processes this unsettling encounter, she might recall past run-ins with Sonny and wonder if Sidwell is merely deflecting her if he's dangling a genuine lead. The tension between the two men is already a powder keg, and Sidwell's words could be the spark that ignites a full-blown explosion. For Anna, this moment underscores the perilous tightrope she walks as she navigates Port Charles' underbelly, where every question risks a deadly answer. Fans will be on the edge of their seats, wondering how Anna will proceed. Will she confront Sonny directly, or dig deeper into Sidwell's cryptic taunt? Brooklyn Quartermaine's moral dilemma with Cody Bell. Elsewhere, Brooklyn Quartermaine finds herself wrestling with a moral quandary as she confides in Cody Bell. In a moment of vulnerability, she insists that one of them needs to rise above the drama and be the bigger person, while the exact context remains shrouded in mystery. All signs point to this conversation circling back to Lulu and the explosive Britt Westbury secret. Brooklyn, having chosen not to weaponize the information against Lulu, might be grappling with whether to come clean about her discovery or to shield Rocco and Lulu from further pain by staying silent. Her plea to Cody suggests she's seeking an ally in this delicate situation, someone who understands the stakes of family loyalty versus brutal honesty. Cody, with his own complicated past and penchant for playing things close to the chest, might offer a grounded perspective. Perhaps he'll remind Brooklyn that some secrets, once unearthed, can't be reburied, urging her to tread carefully. Or maybe he'll surprise her with a protective streak, volunteering to take the heat if the truth inevitably surfaces. This exchange could reveal new layers to their dynamic, showcasing a partnership built on mutual respect amid the chaos of Port Charles. Could this be the moment that solidifies their bond, or will their differing views on handling the situation create a rift? Only time will tell, but this storyline promises to delve into the complexities of integrity versus self-preservation. Jocelyn Jacks draws a hard line with Vaughn. In another corner of town, heartbreak looms as Jocelyn Jacks delivers a gut punch to a stunned Vaughn. Amid a charged and emotionally rushed scene where Vaughn stands bare-chested, perhaps fresh from a vulnerable moment, Jocelyn declares that whatever they had is over. Her words, sharp and final, cut through the air like a blade as she tells him, "This isn't working," leaving no room for misinterpretation. For Jocelyn, this decision likely stems from a culmination of unmet expectations and unresolved friction, though the specifics remain tantalizingly unclear. Was it a betrayal, a clash of values, or simply the realization that their paths are no longer aligned? Vaughn, caught off guard by her resolve, might struggle to process the abrupt end to their connection. Fans can imagine the flicker of hurt in his eyes as he searches for words to salvage what's left, only to be met with Jocelyn's unwavering stance. This breakup could ripple outward, affecting Jocelyn's relationships with those closest to her as she navigates the aftermath. Perhaps she'll lean on a confidant like Trina Robinson for support, or maybe this decision will push her into a new, unexpected chapter. For now, this scene sets the stage for a powerful exploration of independence and the courage it takes to walk away from something or someone no longer right for you. Laura Collins and Sonny Corinthos strategize amid chaos. Turning to the ever-complicated world of politics and power, Laura Collins engages in a high-stakes conversation with none other than Sonny Corinthos. As the mayor of Port Charles, Laura is visibly anxious about the escalating tensions in her city, and she turns to the mob boss for insight. Sonny, with his signature blend of confidence and cryptic charm, hints at a potential solution, murmuring that there might be a way to contain the damage, but what exactly is he referring to? Is this about the brewing mob war that threatens to engulf everyone in its path, or a more personal matter tied to his family? Sonny's history suggests he's no stranger to collateral damage, as evidenced by his cold indifference to Marco Rio's fate in this ongoing conflict. On the flip side, Jen Sidwell has already proven his ruthlessness by putting Christina Corinthos Davis in harm's way just to send a message. With both men locked in a deadly game of chess, the stakes couldn't be higher. Laura, caught between her duty to protect the city and the reality of Sonny's influence, might push for more transparency only to be met with his guarded responses. This exchange could hint at a risky alliance forming, or it might foreshadow a disastrous misstep as Laura places her trust in someone whose loyalties are notoriously fluid. What does this mean for the safety of Port Charles residents, and can Laura truly rely on Sonny to prioritize the greater good over his own agenda? The mob war's devastating ripple effects. Speaking of the mob war, the intensifying clash between Sonny and Sidwell casts a dark shadow over everyone in their orbit. Tracy Quartermain, ever the voice of reason amid chaos, issues a stark warning that no one is safe when mobsters target their rivals' loved ones. Her words ring true as past action Sidwell's reckless endangerment of Christina, for instance, separate that family ties are fair game in this brutal showdown. The question on everyone's mind is what this means for vulnerable players like Giovanni Joe Palmieri, whose connections to both sides could place him squarely in the crosshairs. Imagine Joe, unaware of the storm brewing around him, going about his day as unseen forces plot moves that could upend his life. Will Sonny take steps to shield his extended family, or will his focus on revenge blind him to the dangers closing in? Perhaps Joe will stumble upon a piece of intel that forces him into the conflict, whether he's ready or not. Tracy's ominous prediction might also extend to other innocents, like Rocco or even Emma, whose ties to key figures make them potential pawns in this deadly game. As the mob war escalates, fans can expect collateral damage to become a heartbreaking theme, testing the resilience of Port Charles' tight-knit community in ways they've never faced before. Next, we will uncover the latest buzz rocking Port Charles as a significant shift in the status of a fan-favorite character has set tongues wagging. The rumor mill is in overdrive with news that Josh Kelly, the talented actor behind the charismatic Cody Bell, has transitioned from contract to recurring status as of late June 2025. This change, first noticed in the credits of the June 27th episode, has sparked a wildfire of speculation about what lies ahead for the rugged heartthrob. Will Cody's reduced presence signal a quiet fade into the background, or is a dramatic exit on the horizon? Join us as we dive deep into the implications of this development, explore Cody's tangled web of relationships, and imagine the potential shockwaves his departure could unleash across the town. Buckle up, General Hospital fans, this is one storyline you won't want to miss. Cody Bell's status shift sparks exit rumors. Let's start with the bombshell that has everyone talking, Cody Bell's move to recurring status. For longtime viewers, such a change often hints at a character's storyline taking a backseat or worse, heading toward the exit door of Port Charles. Cody, with his devil-may-care charm and knack for landing in hot water, has been a dynamic presence since his arrival. But now, with fewer episodes guaranteed, fans are left wondering if the writers are paving the way for his departure. Could this be a temporary step back to refocus on other plots, or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for Josh Kelly's beloved character? This shift comes at a particularly tumultuous time for Cody, whose current arc is a minefield of risky schemes and unresolved emotions. Imagine the murmurs among the townsfolk as whispers of Cody's potential exit spread through diners and coffee shops. Some might speculate he's burned too many bridges to stay, while others hold out hope that his ties to key players could anchor him in Port Charles. Whatever the case, this status change is a neon sign that Cody's journey is at a critical crossroads. And the next few episodes could determine whether he rides off into the sunset or fights to reclaim his spot in the heart of the drama. A dangerous game with Ava Jerome and Christina Corinthos Davis. Central to Cody's current predicament is a high-stakes deal that could either save or destroy him. He's entangled in a clandestine mission orchestrated by Christina Corinthos Davis to seduce Ava Jerome, all in a bid to unearth damning evidence of Ava's blackmail against Alexis Davis. This isn't just a flirtatious game meets a tightrope walk over a pit of vipers. Cody's charm offensive with Ava is laced with danger. One wrong move could expose his true intentions, turning Ava's icy wrath on him in an instant. Picture late-night meetings in dimly lit galleries, Cody flashing his signature smirk while inwardly calculating how to extract the intel without tipping his hand. Christina, meanwhile, is banking on Cody's success, but the pressure is mounting. If Ava catches wind of the deception, the fallout could be catastrophic not just for Cody, but for the entire Corinthos family. Perhaps Ava will start to notice subtle inconsistencies in Cody's behavior, her sharp instincts picking up on lingering glances toward Christina. Or maybe Cody will grapple with a flicker of guilt, wondering if betraying Ava, who's shown moments of vulnerability, is worth the cost. This plotline is a ticking time bomb, and with Cody's reduced screen time, fans are left to ponder whether he'll pull off the ruse or get burned before he can make his next move. Romantic tangles with Molly Lansing Davis. Adding another layer of complexity to Cody's story is his budding romance with Molly Lansing Davis, a connection teetering on the edge of promise and peril. Their flirtatious banter has lit up the screen, with stolen glances and playful jabs hinting at deeper feelings. Yet, storm clouds loom over this potential pairing. Molly's mistrust flares every time she spots Cody in the orbit of her sworn enemy, Ava. Misunderstandings pile up like dry tinder, and one sparks a misinterpreted conversation at the wrong moment could ignite a firestorm that sends their relationship crashing down. Imagine Molly confronting Cody outside the courthouse after spotting him with Ava, her voice sharp with suspicion as she demands to know if he's playing her for a fool. Cody, caught between his secret mission and genuine affection for Molly, might fumble for words, his hesitation only deepening her doubts. With his screen time dwindling, there's a real risk that their romance could fizzle out before it truly blooms. Will Molly pull back, guarding her heart against what she perceives as betrayal? Or could a heartfelt confession from Cody turn the tide? For now, this love story hangs in a fragile balance, and fans can only hope for a resolution before Cody's presence in Port Charles becomes a memory. Ties to Max Scorpio, an anchor or a breaking point. Another thread tying Cody to Port Charles is his complicated bond with Max Scorpio, a relationship steeped in unspoken history and potential redemption. Mac has often served as a grounding force for Cody, offering tough love and a sense of belonging when the world seemed to turn against him. But with Cody's role scaling back, one has to wonder if this connection will be enough to keep him tethered to the town. Perhaps a heated argument over Cody's reckless choices, especially his risky dealings with Eva, could strain their bond to the breaking point. Picture a tense scene at the Scorpio household, where Mac, with a furrowed brow, lectures Cody on the dangers of playing with fire. Cody, ever the lone wolf, might lash out, feeling judged rather than supported, and storm off into the night. Alternatively, Mac could uncover the truth about Cody's deal with Christina and offer a lifeline, urging him to come clean before it's too late. This dynamic carries emotional weight, as Mac represents one of the few stable ties Cody has left. Whether this relationship becomes the anchor that keeps him in Port Charles or the final push that sends him packing remains a burning question as his screen time diminishes. Speculating on Cody's exit, solo journey or shared departure. If Cody is indeed headed for the exit, the how and with whom are the next big mysteries. One possibility is a solitary departure, driven by a catastrophic fallout with Eva once his true motives are exposed. Imagine Eva cornering him in a secluded spot, her eyes blazing with betrayal as she vows to make him pay. With nowhere left to turn, Cody might pack a bag under the cover of darkness, leaving behind a scribbled note of apology to those he's hurt. Alternatively, a broken heart from Molly's rejection could be the final straw, pushing him to seek a fresh start far from the pain of Port Charles. There's also the slimmest chance that Cody's exit could pull someone else into his orbit. While Molly seems unlikely to abandon her roots for a man she's only recently connected with, perhaps a friend like Sasha Gilmore Corbin might tag along, drawn by shared secrets or a desire for escape. Picture the two of them sharing a bittersweet farewell to Port Charles, boarding a bus to parts unknown as they leave behind a trail of unresolved questions. However, given Cody's lone wolf tendencies, a solo exit feels more in character, a quiet, perhaps regretful departure that closes one chapter while leaving the door cracked for a future return. Ripple effects on Port Charles dynamics. Cody's reduced role and potential exit could send shockwaves through the interconnected lives of Port Charles. His friendships with Sasha, Dante Falconeri, and Lula Spencer might suffer from his absence, leaving emotional voids or unresolved tensions. Sasha, in particular, could feel the sting of losing a confidant who understood her struggles, while Dante might wrestle with guilt over not reaching out sooner. Lulu, caught up in her own family drama, might only realize Cody's value once he's gone, regretting unspoken words. More explosively, Cody's secrets, especially any dirt he holds on Drew Cain, could still surface even if he leaves town. Imagine a hidden letter or recorded message falling into the wrong hands, detonating a bomb that shakes the Corinthos and Quartermain clans to their core. Willow Corinthos, already navigating a maze of family loyalties, could find her world upended by revelations Cody never got the chance to share himself. This lingering threat adds a layer of intrigue to his departure, suggesting that even if Cody physically leaves Port Charles, his influence could haunt the town for months to come. What lies ahead for Cody Bell? As we wrap up this deep dive into Cody Bell's uncertain future, one thing is clear: his transition to recurring status has lit a fuse under Port Charles' already volatile landscape. Whether he's headed for a dramatic exit alone or with unexpected companion, or a slow fade into the background, Cody's reduced presence will leave a noticeable gap. His dangerous dance with Eva and Christina, his fragile romance with Molly, and his strained ties to Mac all hang in the balance, each storyline poised for either resolution or heartbreak. And with the potential for his secrets to unravel even after he's gone, Cody's impact on the Corinthos, Quartermain, and beyond could be felt for a long time. Next, we will explore a heartfelt yet potentially explosive storyline brewing in Port Charles involving Willow Tate and young Scout Cain. As whispers of upcoming scenes featuring Cassette Abinanti as Scout ripple through the fandom, anticipation builds for some much-needed bonding time between Willow and the little girl who will soon call her stepmother. However, with Willow's emotional state teetering on the edge and Scout grappling with her own struggles, Drew Cain's well-intentioned plan to bring them closer could spiral into utter chaos. Join us as we delve into the intricacies of this delicate situation, uncover new layers to the drama, and imagine the devastating consequences that might unfold if things go awry. Get ready for a deep dive into a storyline that promises both tender moments and heart-wrenching turmoil. A hopeful plan for Willow and Scout's bonding. At the heart of this unfolding drama is Drew Cain's desperate attempt to mend the broken pieces of Willow Tate's world while fostering a connection with his daughter, Scout. Willow has been drowning in anguish since losing custody of her beloved children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. The separation has left her a shell of her former self, haunted by an ache that no words can soothe. Drew, determined to stand by her side, is not only planning a wedding to strengthen their case in court as a united front but also hatching a short-term strategy to lift Willow's spirits. His idea? Encourage more one-on-one time between Willow and Scout, hoping that stepping into a maternal role even temporarily might heal some of Willow's wounds. Imagine Drew watching from the sidelines as he arranges a cozy afternoon at the park, envisioning Willow pushing Scout on a swing, their laughter echoing through the crisp Port Charles air. In his mind, this could be a dual win. Willow rediscovers a sense of purpose, and Scout, who has been quietly struggling since the loss of her mother, Sam McCall, finds a new confidant. Drew might even believe this bond could lay a strong foundation for their future family dynamic once the wedding bells ring. Yet, beneath this hopeful scheme lies a current of uncertainty. With both Willow and Scout carrying their own burdens, this plan to bring them together could just as easily tear everything apart. Willow's fragile emotional state. Willow Tate's current mental and emotional condition adds a volatile layer to Drew's plan. The agony of being separated from her children has left her shattered, her days clouded by grief and nights plagued by restless thoughts. She's a woman on the brink, barely holding herself together as she navigates this dark chapter. While Drew sees bonding with Scout as a potential balm for her pain, there's a very real risk that Willow isn't equipped to handle the responsibility or the inevitable emotional triggers that could surface during their time together. Picture Willow sitting across from Scout at a kitchen table, attempting to muster a smile as they color together, only for a fleeting memory of Wiley to overwhelm her. A crayon might drop from her trembling hand as tears spill, leaving Scout wide-eyed and unsure of how to react. Worse still, Willow's fragile state could lead to unpredictable behavior. In a moment of disorientation, she might even mistake Scout for Amelia, her youngest child, and react in a way that confuses or frightens the girl. Perhaps she'll clutch Scout too tightly, murmuring Amelia's name, unaware of the growing panic in the child's eyes. This scenario paints a heartbreaking picture of a woman so consumed by loss that reality blurs, setting the stage for a misunderstanding that could have dire consequences. Scout's struggles and potential resentment. On the other side of this delicate equation is Scout Kane, a young girl who has been noticeably absent from the family's recent turmoil, but carries her own silent grief over losing her mother, Sam. Scout's world has been upended, and while she may crave connection, she's also fiercely protective of her memories of Sam. Drew's push for her to bond with Willow, who will soon become her stepmother, might strike a sour note. What if Scout perceives Willow as an intruder, someone trying to step into shoes that can never be filled? This budding resentment could turn even the most well-meaning interactions into battlegrounds. Envision a tense moment during a picnic where Willow offers Scout a homemade cookie, a gesture meant to warm her heart, only for Scout to push it away with a scowl, muttering, "You're not my mom." The sting of those words could cut Willow to the core, especially in her vulnerable state, while Scout might retreat further into her shell, feeling guilty yet unable to bridge the gap. There's also the chance that Scout's resistance grows once she learns of the impending marriage between Drew and Willow. The idea of a new family structure might feel like a betrayal of Sam's memory, prompting Scout to lash out or withdraw completely. Her reaction could set off a chain of events that neither Drew nor Willow anticipated, turning a hopeful bonding exercise into a source of deep division. The risk of a catastrophic misunderstanding. As Willow and Scout navigate this forced closeness, the potential for disaster looms large. Willow's deteriorating mental health could manifest in alarming ways during their interactions. There's a chilling possibility that, in a moment of psychological distress, Willow might experience a break from reality, perhaps even a dissociative episode where her identity frays. Scout, witnessing this up close, could be exposed to a side of Willow that's unrecognizable, a version of her future stepmother lost in a fog of pain and delusion. Imagine a scene in the Kane household where Willow, triggered by a lullaby she once sang to Amelia, begins to spiral. Her voice softens, her eyes glaze over, and she reaches for Scout, calling her by the wrong name. Scout, frightened by this sudden shift, might back away, her small frame trembling as she realizes something is terribly wrong. This moment could scar Scout, planting seeds of fear or mistrust that linger long after the incident. Even more harrowing is the thought of Willow, and her confusion, fleeing with Scout under the mistaken belief that she's protecting her own child. Drew would be thrust into a frantic search, racing against time through the streets of Port Charles, his heart pounding as he prays to find them before irreversible harm is done. Scout's possible rebellion and escape. If the tension between Scout and Willow reaches a breaking point, Scout's reaction could be one of rebellion or escape. Feeling overwhelmed by Willow's emotional volatility or the pressure to accept her as a maternal figure, Scout might decide she can't stay under the same roof. Her young mind, grappling with confusion and fear, could lead her to drastic measures like running away from home. Whether she seeks refuge at the sprawling Quartermain mansion, her grandmother Alexis Davis' comforting home, or even hides out in the shadowy corners of the Quartermain boathouse, Scout's flight would send shockwaves through her family. Picture Scout slipping out a window at dusk, a small backpack slung over her shoulder, determined to find a safe haven away from the chaos. Perhaps she enlists the help of her trusted cousin, Danny Morgan, swearing him to secrecy as they hunker down in the boathouse, surrounded by the creak of old wood and the lapping of lake water. Danny, torn between loyalty to Scout and concern for her safety, might struggle to keep her hidden while the adults launch a desperate search. This act of defiance would not only highlight Scout's distress, but also expose the fractures in Drew's plan, forcing him to confront the unintended consequences of pushing Willow and Scout together too soon. The fallout could strain relationships across the board, leaving everyone questioning how to move forward. Drew's dilemma in the face of disaster. For Drew Cain, this entire endeavor is a gamble born out of love and desperation. He's caught between his fierce desire to support Willow through her darkest hour and his responsibility to protect Scout from emotional harm. If bonding sessions between the two go awry, whether through Willow's breakdown or Scout's rejection, Drew will find himself in a heartbreaking predicament. How does he balance the needs of the woman he loves with the well-being of his daughter? The weight of this decision could etch new lines of worry into his face as he wrestles with guilt over a plan gone horribly wrong. Envision Drew pacing the living room after Scout runs off, his phone clutched tightly as he calls out to neighbors and friends, his voice hoarse with panic. He might replay every moment leading up to this crisis, questioning if he misjudged Willow's readiness or underestimated Scout's grief. There's also the looming possibility that this fiasco could jeopardize his and Willow's custody battle for Wiley and Amelia, as opponents in court could seize on Willow's instability as evidence against them. Drew's dream of uniting his fractured family might crumble before his eyes, leaving him to pick up the pieces of a plan that promised hope but delivered heartbreak instead. What's next for Willow, Scout, and Drew? As we look ahead to the upcoming episodes featuring Cassette Abinandi's return as Scout, it's clear that Port Charles is bracing for a storyline rich with emotion and fraught with peril. Willow Tate's attempt to forge a bond with Scout Cain, orchestrated by a hopeful Drew, teeters on the edge of disaster. With Willow's mental state hanging by a thread and Scout wrestling with her own pain and resistance, every interaction between them is a potential powder keg. Whether it's a heartbreaking misunderstanding, a terrifying episode of dissociation, or Scout's desperate escape, the consequences could reshape their family forever. Will Drew's vision of unity survive the storm, or will it collapse under the weight of grief and miscommunication? Could Scout's rebellion lead to a surprising ally stepping in to guide her back home, or will Willow's struggles push her past a point of no return? General Hospital fans, the stage is set for a roller coaster of emotions, and we want to hear your thoughts. Will Willow and Scout find common ground, or is catastrophe inevitable? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and stay tuned to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for the latest updates on this gripping saga. One thing is certain, in Port Charles, even the best intentions can lead to the most devastating outcomes.